What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only. Ash said it. AshSaidIt.com. AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,600 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys. So, I thank you so very, very much. And yes, we are in springtime. Spring is in the air. And, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's still a lot going on. We're still getting used to our new normal here. So today, I've got with me former Deputy Coroner. And, she's got this wonderful insight about this career of being a coroner and all these different mysterious things of the profession. And now she can put another title on there for her as author. The wonderful Donna Francart. Donna Francart. I am going to be good with my words today, Donna. I promise you this.
Hi, Ash.
Hi, Donna.
How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us today, Donna. So where in the world are you today, Donna?
Well, today I am in the lovely state of Missouri, or is it Missouri? Missouri. I'm visiting my son and daughter-in-law, and my grandson is expected to arrive into this world any day.
Oh.
However, I am from Wisconsin, but I'm in Missouri. Yes, exciting.
Awesome. Yes, well, congratulations for that. You got a little bean on the way.
Thank you.
Loving that,
I know,
loving that.
Exciting.
All right, so Donna, you've had an amazing career. And like I said, Donnas are really special people because my mama's name was Donna Teresa. So Donnas are always special to me. So going back on the history of your career and your journey, even before you even started this job, what was your dream career when you were a kid?
My dream career had nothing to do with dead bodies. My dream career was actually I wanted to get into the travel profession. I actually, to be specific, wanted to be a flight attendant because my mom was born and raised in Ireland. My dad's here from the States, and so they got married. She came over here, and I was raised here. We were in the Midwest. However, every other summer we would spend in Dublin, Ireland. And so I had travel in my blood, and along the way we'd stop to visit family in New York and go to other countries. But so I always wanted to get into travel, and I did eventually, as an adult, get into the travel profession. I did corporate and government travel, and did that for over 30-some years. And then I was sidelined to my other profession as a deputy coroner, but did continue in the travel field along with the deputy position. So I was working 2 jobs.
Oh, wow. And what was that like for you, just balancing the 2 worlds? Like, was it like, were you working Monday through Friday, or was it certain days of the week?
Oh, yes, I was working, I should say, I wouldn't change a thing, but I worked Monday through Friday, the usual typical hours, 8 to 5. Excuse me, actually it really never ended at 5, but so Monday through Friday I did the travel, right? I did the travel job, and then on a Friday evening, let's say I'd get done at 6 o'clock with my travel job, and then it would give me just enough time to prepare for my position as a deputy coroner. My pager would go on at 7 o'clock that night, and then many weekends I would be on call until Sunday at 7 o'clock at night. Or I may just do a day, 24-hour period, 12-hour, because it would go in 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
And so that went on for week after week, months, years. There were some weeks, or 7 out of the 7 days, that I would work the 5 days. I'd be on call at 7 o'clock, and I get paged out by 10 after 7. There's one in particular I'm thinking about. And I kept going nonstop until 3 o'clock the next afternoon. I was exhausted.
Wow.
It was very exhausting.
That's a
emotionally,
lot.
physically, mentally.
Yes. So if you could pick out
Yeah.
one or two or how many ever come to you, what are some things that you feel the average person would never know about the coroner position?
That a coroner is the one that is called to the scene. Well, it's called to the scene. So after the police are called, paramedics or first responders, it's obvious that this person has expired. The coroner is then called. The body is under the possession of the coroner. The actual location of the scene is under control of the police or law enforcement. And it is considered a crime scene until, as a team, we've ruled out that, gone through the investigation, completed that, and ruled out that there's been any foul play. So the coroner has control of the body, and when the coroner gets to the scene, we pronounce the time of death. We will examine the body, draw fluids for toxicology, whether it's blood, urine, or vitreous. We determine whether there should be an autopsy. We'll also attend autopsies. One thing for sure that I would say the general public doesn't realize is that the coroner, if there's, and of course we're called out to all the suspicious, unexpected, or unwitnessed deaths. We've got homicide, suicide, car fatalities, drownings, overdoses, many very gruesome and tragic scenes. And if a body has been, there's limbs that are no longer detached or whatever has happened to that individual, we need to gather all parts of that body to make sure that that person is all together and taken to the morgue or down for autopsy. So we are hands-on. We're picking up the pieces. We're also notifying families. So we're dealing with all of the emotional roller coaster of how people react in learning or finding out that their loved one has expired and in some tragic way.
That's heavy. That's very heavy. That's a lot heavier than I thought. And yeah, wow, I'm learning from you just from you giving that description. I didn't know that there was so much that really went into the coroner as far as, because you hear about it, unfortunately, when celebrities pass and they're like, oh, the coroner is taking the body, blah, blah, blah. But I get, wow, that's a lot, Donna. That really is, wow.
It's a lot of responsibility because, as we say, the coroner is, we're the voice of the dead when they can no longer speak. So if they've lost their life at the hands of another, it's our job, our responsibility to find what the cause of the death was. And if it was by someone else, that we find who did this and that hopefully justice is served.
Yeah, so the coroner really is hand in hand with the police in figuring out something. So, wow, that is awesome. Okay, so one extra question. So now, when you said something, it triggered something else for me to ask. So, on average, how do you guys figure out if someone has passed away? How do you figure out time of death?
I'll speak for the county that I worked in. The time of death would be the moment that the coroner arrives on scene and pronounces the time of death.
Oh.
Now, that person might have passed away the night before, but it's the time that we would arrive that time will be documented as the time of death.
Gotcha. Okay.
When the body
makes sense.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense. Gotcha. All right, so Donna, let's talk a little bit about the inspiration to write this book. Where did that come from for you?
I was not, or did not hear of ever any debriefing where I was working. So it wasn't offered. And so even though the case is done and you're gone from the scene, obviously you still have those memories in your head. And with having two younger sons, coming home, you're just heavy with all of this grief and the tragedy and the gruesome scenes that you've witnessed and worked through. And I didn't want it to affect their lives and to be living in a home that was just very, sad and depressing. And so I needed an outlet. I needed some way of trying to process and compartmentalize all of these cases so I could push them out of my head. They would never go away completely, but I started writing. I thought not so much writing about the actual case and the specifics, but the emotions of how I felt, how the family felt, how I felt about the scene. And I tried to, like in the book, I tried to walk away with a positive thought. Like, even though it was a tragedy, the positive thing was that the family was reunited. It brought a family together. They are now moving forward, are going to realize just how precious life is, and that every moment that we're awake and we're taking a breath is a gift, because there's others that thought that they'd be doing the same, and they didn't have that extra minute or day. Yeah. So yes, the writing was my way of coping with all of the death that I was surrounded with.
Yeah. Wow. Last but certainly not... go ahead.
I'm sorry, please.
No, you're good. Continue. I can talk forever.
Me too. I was going to say, and also that with dealing with death, coroners are going to scenes where people have died unexpectedly, right?
Right.
So a lot of these decedents or people didn't, it was unexpected. So many of them did not realize, it's going to sound funny, but didn't realize that they were dead. And so they just kind of lingered around because they didn't know what to do. Now, I do believe that there's more after death. I do believe that we might leave our bodies behind. There is energy, and our souls will continue on, and we transition to whatever else. And so many of those souls would follow me. Most of them didn't cross over the threshold into my home, but many of them did attach to me. They did appear. They did say things. They did do things, and my sons also experienced that as well. Wow. And so the writing also was trying to help me to process that as well.
Gotcha. So were you able to kind of dispel some of that energy, through the book and through like they're not still bothering you today, are they, Donna? Hopefully not.
Actually, yes, they are.
Wow.
Yes, they are.
But not in a bad way. It's just like they're kind of they're lingering around kind of thing. They're not bothering you per se. But
Right. They're not bothering me. They're just letting me know they're still there. I had, about a month ago, I was in my car, and do you remember the old rotary phones? How they ring, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was in a parking lot, and I put the car in reverse, and I was backing out, and I hear a ring, and that's odd. I put the car in park. I looked back in my back seat, even though I knew I'm alone in a car. I don't have a rotary phone in my car. It's just I got it out look anyhow. So I didn't see anything, and I looked forward again, put it back in drive. Moved so many feet, the ringing started again. I put it in park again. I look back. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, hello. I don't know who's trying to contact me, but I've got to drive right now, so can we catch up with you later? So it's things like that happen.
Gotcha. Last but not least, what ultimately do you want readers to get from this book project?
I would love people to read my book and walk. Well, first off, I hope that they feel the emotions. I hope that they walk away thinking, life is precious. Even though I may feel like certain days are just boring, it's repetitive, it's mundane, I'm really going to be thankful for being alive and being here. I'm going to tell my family, my loved ones, I love them. I'm going to look over my elders, take care of them. I'm going to look out that window. I'm going to take a walk, and I'm going to embrace the beauty of nature around me. And every minute from the time, your date of birth, your date of death. Fill that canvas with as much as you can. Leave your footprints for your family, your legacy.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm hoping people to get out of this.
I love
and
it.
that there is more, not to fear death, that it can be a beautiful thing and that there's so much more. And I do believe your ancestors are there and your loved ones to help you and be together again. This is my opinion. These are from experiences of what I've seen, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, absolutely. Donna Francart, thank you so much for visiting with us today. We appreciate you. Kudos on this book. I love it. Let everyone know the best way, of course, to get the book and to follow you on social media.
Yes, thank you. The book is available on Amazon. It's available in hardcover, paperback, and e-reader. And we are in the process of having it as audio. That has not been completed yet. I do also have a couple of Facebook groups that one of them is Delightful Deputy Donna Crazy with a Small C Coroner. I say small C because I'm only a little crazy. And then the other group page is I've Seen Dead People, Diary of a Deputy Coroner, and that is to keep people or the public up on what is happening with the book has been written for a screenplay adaptation. There will be a feature film. Ooh. And as a matter of fact, Jeff Holm, who is the director and producer, and he's very well known with many films like The Revenant, Shrek, Titanic, Fifth Element. He is actively speaking with agents for hopefully some A-list actors to fill the major roles. Gary Rebel is my publisher, and he's also the owner of Genre Books, Film, and music, and he's the producer, co-producer, and then Frank Burmaster was the scriptwriter, and also Gary was the scriptwriter. So I'm excited about that. So if people would like to follow on those pages, I'll keep everyone updated on what's happening there. And also on Instagram, that's Delightful Deputy Donna, and then also Twitter is Delightful Deputy Donna.
Loving that. Wow, you've got a lot of stuff on the horizon, Donna. Keep pushing forward. This is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Those are huge, huge announcements. So, I mean, that only means that you have to come back and talk about the screenplay next time, Donna, when it's time for premieres. I want my ticket in the mail.
Anytime. I would love that. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much, Donna. Much more success, and kudos to you and the team and everything that's coming about with this project and how it continues to grow and manifest. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being with us. And I appreciate each and every one of you
You're
guys.
welcome.
Thank you so much for your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do. You look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.